Welcome to the January 12th Oyster River Finance Committee meeting, and I'm going to dive right in because we have a time limit. So our first item on the agenda is on electric buses and vehicle to the grid presentation. So I will start you guys right off.
Alan, I can't thank you enough, Doctor, for having us, Susan. We appreciate the invitation here. And my name is Jim Anderson. I am Vice President, one of the principal owners of Anderson Bluebird Bus Sales of New England. We are a hub headquartered out of East Providence, Rhode Island. And I'm here tonight with Jason Raposa, okay, who is our Business Development Manager. And I wanted, if I could, please, I'm not sure who is on with us remotely. Could I take an attendance, please, on who we have remotely on?
Jim, you've got John Anderson, obviously your brother, family business. I'm on the call here from Rhode Island.
Thank you, John. Who else?
Bill Johnstone, New Hampshire Electric Co-op.
Okay, so we got Bill. Did I hear who? Was it Ted? Did I hear?
Hey, go ahead.
Yeah, hey, it's Ted Smith from Nuvve. I'm the Chief Operating Officer, and with me I've got Greg Wood, our CEO. So there.
Okay. Do we have Gregory here?
Yes, absolutely. I'm here. Good afternoon, everybody.
Okay. Do we have Russell on?
Yeah, Russell here.
Okay. Do we have Eric Zimmerman on? Okay.
So you just used up your 15.
Okay. So here we are. This is what the gig is here, just so we're clear, guys. Okay. We cannot see you. We can hear you. Okay. We have 30 minutes, okay, to do our presentation and get through our questions and answers. Okay. Jason is going to operate the presentation from the IT side over here. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of kick this off right now. This will be an open forum discussion. We do have with us the committee, as Doctor had mentioned, and Susan, the business manager. So there are 5 people from Oyster River here. Okay, Al is the chair of the committee, and he has Michael and Brian with him, in addition to the superintendent here, Doctor. This here is basically a follow-up call, okay, if we could, from our original discussion that we had about a month or so ago. Okay, we had a Zoom meeting, and we were asked to come back and discuss a little bit further from the financial side. So what we want to do right now, okay, is we're going to run through a little quick presentation. We're not going to spend much time. I'm just seeing if IT is working. So just give me a second here. And we'll run through our presentation, and from there we'll have open dialogue.
Perfect.
Just give us a second here, guys. While we're getting ourselves up to speed, we had forwarded the presentation to Susan earlier today. There we go. Okay. And I believe you had passed it over to the rest of the group. Okay, so everybody has a chance. I don't know if you had a chance to review it at all previously. That's okay. If not, we're gonna walk you through it.
And just have Russell give me the cue to advance to the next slide when he's ready.
Okay, hey Russell, what we're gonna do is Jason is working the electronics up here. So what you and I are gonna need to work together, Russell, on the cue, so we know we can move the slide forward. Okay?
Okay, great. Yeah, or Gregory, if you're going to lead the presentation, you can just give that cue as well.
Yep.
Yeah, we just moved the slide right now. I was tight. So, I mean, Russell, get to the...
Okay. All right. Just so I'm clear, I'm trying to get an understanding of the flow here. I see you guys up on a camera here. Do you guys have the slideshow up in front of you or not?
No.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so the audio, gentlemen, you'll have to speak slowly and loudly because it's a little choppy depending on who's speaking. Okay?
We see the presentation now.
You got it now? Okay, good. All right. So why don't we do this here? I'm going to welcome everybody, okay? This is us here. Can't thank Nuvve to be included with us here today, okay? We're going to have the three partners here today are going to discuss their roles in this transaction, okay? As you can see, we're partnered up with Nuvve, okay? Anderson Bluebird and New Hampshire Electric Co-op is on, okay? So from there, I'm just going to take a quick little snapshot of us for you gentlemen that aren't aware. This is us, Anderson Bluebird Bus Sales of New England. We do have a mission statement, and the bottom line of there is that it's integrity, quality, okay, and we're here to service the marketplace, okay, for who we are. Jason, we are a company that was founded back in 1964. I, myself, and my brother John are second-generation owners, okay, and we are professionals in the transportation sector in New England. Today, we're going to talk about the Bluebird product, Jason. And this is what we cover here for Bluebird, okay? There are 4 states in New England. We're based out of Rhode Island, Massachusetts. We're going to talk to you guys about New Hampshire today and the opportunities that we have in New Hampshire and Vermont. So that's our representation here as a company. We do have experience, okay, with Oyster River. We have gotten to know Susan and her staff over the last few years, working and calling on it with each other. And we've been working on this particular project for almost 3 years now, from when we had the inception of this project, when we met just about 3 years ago. And Bluebird is the product line, okay, that is going to be able to discuss today. And this is just a quick snapshot of Bluebird. They are the bus manufacturer here. They pioneered themselves back in 1927. And they are an exclusive purpose-built school bus that operates throughout the entire North American continent. And they are leading the industry in alternative fuels. And today we're going to talk to you guys about alternative fuels, especially the electric school bus operation. Okay? From there, I think we move on to the next slide. And I'm going to let Russell take charge here quickly on Nuvve.
Yeah, I'll take it on. My name is Gregory Quinn. I'm the chairman and CEO and co-founder of Nuvve. So a bit about Nuvve. We were founded about 10 years ago, headquartered in San Diego. My partner in starting Nuvve, Professor Williamson, the University of Delaware, has been working the concept of the grid for since 1996. When just go. We have operations in multiple countries. It's quite a bit of noise, so if I can ask really helpful.
Yeah, if we could try to talk a little bit slower, Greg, it's muffling through a little bit.
Okay. Let me try to slow down a little bit. So we have operation in multiple countries around the world. We started commercial operation in Denmark about 4.5 years ago, where we have been performing vehicle-to-grid operation with light-duty fleets since then. We have also developed a partnership with the French utility called EDF, and we have established a joint venture called DRIP that is commercializing the technology in 5 countries in Europe, UK, Italy, Belgium, and Germany. Then we have corporate investors, including EDF and V2G.
Before we move on to the next slide, if I could, Greg, could I just have Bill Johnson just kind of maybe bring in the fold himself here as a partner with the New Hampshire Co-op? Bill?
Sure. Well, thank you. New Hampshire Electric Co-op, where, as you know, we serve the Mastway School, and we are electric utility here in the state, and excited to really work with Nuvve and Oyster River School District on this project. And through the savings of the our demand reduction, we're able to support this project financially and help make it. Again, we're happy with the project and glad to be part of it.
Thank you, Bill. Okay, hey, Greg, we'll let you take it on from here right now.
Yeah. I'm I'm not going to spend, I'm not going to go too deep in the technology, but from a high level, right? What is our mission? Is to lower the cost of electric vehicle ownership while supporting the integration of renewable energy generation. Renewable generation is great from CO2 perspective, but it's also a very volatile generation. If you have solar, depending on if there is sun or not, it will be generating wind generation, depending on how the wood was or not. In order to be useful, the buffer and storage buffers such as batteries and storage buffer between the electric system and the renewable generation. The concept of vehicle to grid is that you have big electric vehicles, and in this specific case, if you put a little bit more power electronics, the charging stations, you can make it bidirectional, meaning not just energy from the grid, but also push energy to the grid. The balance. Then we have a platform that allows us to aggregate many vehicles to address different services that we can provide to the grid. I think working here with NFEC allowed us to define services that we do for energy that will allow to generate some revenue and basically help to deploy school buses, electric school buses in the cheap if it goes up the opportunity. Next page. As I said, we have multiple deployments around the world with light duty vehicles as the manufacturers in Japan. Example, on the bottom right here are EN2. This was a customer in Denmark 4.5 years ago. As you can see, we have also multiple school bus deployments that are mostly in California today, but we are working on projects around the world, going from Florida, New York, and now we're also getting into the Northeast.
Greg, if I could just interject 1 minute, because you've been coming in a little bit in and out. I just want to just make the statement here why I'm here with these gentlemen, that we have a program with New Hampshire Cooperative, okay, that I just wanted to kind of set the tone on what's going on here, because I know that it's been tough to kind of hear you coming through, so that you've taken what you've done here across the world, and we're working on a program exclusively for New Hampshire with New Hampshire Cooperative and Anderson Bluebird. So that's what brings us here today, okay?
Exactly. Yes. So go to the next page. So, V2G is perceived as a complex thing. What we want this to mean for you is those key points. One, the PERP is a place of vehicles ready for PERP. And we will always guarantee that the buses will be ready for your drivers when the drivers need the buses. This is done through historical usage of the vehicle, but also scheduling that can be done through our app, for example. Two, our optimizing protect battery inputs. And we are working with the bus manufacturers to make sure that warranties of batteries are not voided because of creativity. So with the protection of the battery is 3, you are in control. And you always say, I don't want the grid, so
Jim,
I just.
I don't want to do disservice to this presentation. How much of this can you supplement, you and?
Right. But we're having a hard time with the audio here, guys. Okay? So it's not coming in clear, so what's happening is it's kind of muffling a little bit. So I think what we can do is, why don't we do this here to keep this thing moving?
Right.
All right? It's unfortunate right now, but the audio is not working that well. Okay? So we've got 6:15, and I know we got a 6:30 hard stop. So let me just kind of sum this up together here, guys, as we work and we try to get through the presentation. What basically, what we're reading from this slide here, just for the council that's here, okay, is that the bus end of it is going to be the Anderson side of it here with the school bus. That is going to be electrically set up, battery operated, completely capable of taking both the fast charge and the V2G. Okay, the 2 section here, okay, is the vehicle to grid capabilities that are working back with New Hampshire Cooperative. Okay, that's kind of how that's interconnecting. And the third thing here basically is that it's leaving you guys as the operators in full control, okay, of what's going on. Okay, well, can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, so then I'm just going to kind of take on here a little bit, Greg, if I could, just because the audio is muffled.
It's not good, go ahead.
Okay, it's not coming in too well. I don't know if you guys can hear us or not, okay? But basically, what we're looking at trying to do here today, okay, to give you guys from 30,000 feet is really a turnkey solution, okay, with benefits for you guys to operate electric power buses here, okay, and go to zero emissions, green initiative, okay, and what we're trying to do is to give you guys the value-added feature, okay, of including just what we said, the bus, the vehicle to grid, the power company, okay, and then the added value that comes with it, okay, and hopefully there is a cost, as we know, okay, but when you look at the package when we get to the end of this, okay, there's going to be a maintenance, a warranty, and a cost factor that we're going to give you guys that you got to make your decision on from the finance side of the business and whether it's going to make sense for you guys to move forward. Okay?
Next.
Can we go to the next slide? What we're recommending here, okay, for Oyster River is the DC fast charge station. Nuvve would be the one that would be supplying the fast charge, okay? They are going to be supplying the infrastructure up to $20,000, okay? Will be in our calculation when we get to the bottom, okay, to set you guys up with their fast charge, which would have the capability of the V2G going back into the grid and would give you guys, okay, the opportunity opposed to a slow charge, okay? So the fast charges work up to full charge, usually within that two to 3 hours.
Yep, it's a 3-hour
Okay,
turnaround.
up to 3 hours on the fast charge.
Versus 8 hours on a level 2
Okay,
charge.
opposed to a level 2 charge, which would be a 6 to 8 hour charge. So this is going to give you guys the opportunity and the flexibility, okay, to move a bus out and do its route in the morning, bring it back in, get it into the fast charge system, charge it back up as quickly as we can for the next afternoon run, okay? So with that, part of our presentation here is you will get this install, okay, and this component here with Nuvve. Okay, next slide. Okay, this kind of sums up really what's going on with the charging consultation and the installation. Okay, that would be with a network of installation partners. Nuvve would have that. They would work here, you know, within your facilities, I guess, sir, back there, okay? You know, of getting this position set up, okay? And then the financing, okay, is what Nuvve is going to be able to bring to the table, okay, on putting this whole package together, okay? Bus, charging station, you know, meters of installation, and the cost back to the grid. Okay, and there will be some V2G revenues and whatnot that'll be incorporated into reduce your total cost which is something that we would have to define and get a little bit more in tune with you people, okay, on those revenue sharing. Okay, and then basically the bottom line there is the bus, the charging station, and the installation costs are all going to be included, okay, in the bottom line when we get there at the end of the presentation. Okay, move to the next slide. Okay, and here's basically what we're presenting to you guys. Okay, we quoted you guys, if you remember, Doctor, about a month ago. Okay, it was about almost a $27,000 a year annually. We said we'd go back to the drawing board. We talked to you at that time between an 8-year and a 12-year. We decided that a 10-year would be best fit for you people, is what you requested. So what we did was we came back with a 10-year deal, okay, and we pretty much summed it up into a fleet size. We came back and we basically said to you guys, okay, for a one bus purchase, we will do a $25,500 a year annually with maintenance included. Okay, we offered you without a maintenance package at $23,500, which means you would take responsibility of the maintenance. If we did a 2-bus deal, we would come back at $25,000 a year. Likewise with maintenance at $23,000. If we did a 3-bus deal, okay, we would be at $24,500 a year. Okay, without maintenance it would be $22,500. So this would be amortized over a 10-year cycle. Okay? Now, what we want to make sure, okay, that you guys understand, okay, is that this would be basically a turnkey solution. If we come to a conclusion and make a decision to move forward and get a little bit more in depth with this, okay, then Nuvve would be purchasing the bus from Anderson. They'd be coming in here, setting up your charging station, okay, site work and all the things that need to go to get that in position, making the connections with the grid, which would be working with the New Hampshire Cooperative, okay, and then you guys would be deploying the bus, and then you'd be operating the bus. And if we took it on a full maintenance package, then for 10 years, you guys would be on an annual base, okay, writing an annual amount of money at I'm just going to take the first category, at $25,500, okay, a year would be payable for the next 10 years. And then you guys would operate the bus from there, okay? So that really concludes the presentation. And now what we would want to do is open it up for questions and answers. Unless there's anything that, I don't know if we can, Greg, if you want to add something, and maybe if you could talk slowly, maybe you could just add something quickly to sum that up, or?
I think if the audio is not good, it's best that you keep covering yourself.
Excuse me?
I think if the audio is not good, it's better if you keep covering it yourself.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, fine. Okay, so why don't we do this here, is you guys, can you guys hear us fine? Okay.
Absolutely perfectly.
Okay, so why don't we do this here? Why don't we open it up, because we're kind of cutting down on time here. Why don't we open it up to the Finance Committee for any type kind of clarification or any questions or understandings that you guys need us to drill down a little bit more on?
Jim, I just want to make one more point. Because we are dealing with the New Hampshire Cooperative only at the Mastway School, then the installation would have to be at the Mastway School. Okay? So that's part of the package, because New Hampshire Cooperative is partnering in this, and that's the only school that we work with under New Hampshire Cooperative.
Do we have a break-even analysis or anything on this as far as our expenses versus what would be saving in fuel?
Well, this is what we know, okay? We know that where that break even would be, that you guys normally, and Sue, you could help me if you could, normally would buy a bus, okay, just so you understand, and I'm just going to use some figures, that you normally would buy a bus in the $90,000 average, okay? So you guys would amortize that over a 5-year cost on an amortization for about applicable about $19,000 a year for the asset cost, okay? And then you would amortize that asset over 5 years, and then you would operate the bus over a 10-year period, okay? Normally, that's what you guys do with your buses, okay? And then you have a fuel requirement also. The fuel operates on an annual base of somewhere in the approximation of a $4,000 annual fuel maintenance, fuel surcharge, okay, that you guys pay to operate the bus, which you would not be doing, okay, with the fuel. So you'd be saving that money of fuel on an annual base, okay? Then you have a maintenance category that goes in. Nuvve's going to be absorbing the maintenance, if you notice, which is really a $2,000 a year maintenance item. I don't know the numbers out of your organization, but it's probably hard for me to reason that you're spending $2,000 a year on maintenance. I think you probably spend a little bit more when you average it over 10 years. Okay, so on average, these buses are probably could be $4,000 minimum on maintenance on average over 10 years, if not a little bit more. Okay, so you'd only be obligated to a $2,000 a year maintenance cycle. So that's going to save you money there. Okay?
Who's doing the maintenance, though? Are you doing it, or is someone local doing it?
No, what it will be, we will set up a service triage with you, okay, locally. I know you have your local shop here right now at Oyster River that you guys deal with, and what we would do is we would align ourselves with him, okay, and we would manage the maintenance through him.
So you'd train John?
Okay, and we would train I don't know his name, you got to excuse me, but you have a local gentleman down the road here, which is right next to your bus yard, okay? And we would work with him, okay, and set him up to be able to handle the bus, okay? We would take the major responsibilities on. We work through Cummins Corporation, okay, if that name rings a bell to any of you guys, okay? They're a major player out in the business. They're our battery pack. Okay, Cummins, the battery pack comes with an 8-year warranty, so we would have Cummins as a major player behind us, okay, servicing any of the high electric battery, components.
The high voltage
components.
Yep.
And then we would work through your local guy to do all your regular maintenance, your wiper blades, your windshield wipers, your tires, your brakes, and your things like that, okay? And then we would work back through our service triage to get that handled for you, okay? All right? So basically, what you guys are looking at a cost factor is, I'm just going to take the first bus at a $25,500, including maintenance, on an annual base. So we would have to run that back through Susan's numbers, you follow me, okay, on where that cost would be for you on a break even. I don't have those numbers because I'm not looking at your sheets, your financials, okay, on where that would be.
But those numbers are pretty good.
Pretty close. We do know, okay, that electric buses, and it's brand new out into the market, as we know, but we do know that there is a substantial savings, okay, in operations due to a lack of, components, really. It's we don't have the componentry, if you follow me, that a diesel engine has, that adds to, expense. We've got a lot more efficient operation. So that there's a lot of hidden value that's going to fall into that also, okay? We know that it's an expensive opposition, but we also know that, if for the town and municipalities that want to go green and they want to try to spearhead and pioneer the electric, operation, which you guys would probably be the first school district in the state of New Hampshire at this particular time to go electric. Okay, Vermont just jumped in. They're taking 2 in. Massachusetts just jumped in. They've got on order. And then you guys would be you'd be leading the charge in New Hampshire as a school district here to go electric.
What's the mileage? What's on a charge, how many miles do you get out of a bus?
Mileage is about 120-mile range, okay, approximately. And there are features and factors that come into mileage. The duty cycle of the vehicle. We would come up and train your drivers, okay? Because when you're driving an electric vehicle, I'm going to say it's very similar to as if you're operating a golf cart, just to give you an idea. So if some of you guys are golfers, okay? That sensation of the pedal, how it works, okay? We do not have a transmission in our vehicle, so it's a direct drive, very similar to a golf cart. We're an oversized golf cart, okay? So the charge is based on driverability, and we train them, to work the regeneration of the braking system to put energy back into the body, into the batteries. And also,
Basically, anytime the operator's foot is not on the accelerator, basically the regeneration system works to, put charge back into the battery
Right.
system. So
so you have about 120 miles. That's on average due to normal conditions and normal temperatures. Now, at winter times, the mileage ranges will decrease because we're using heaters and we're using things like that. That might suck up 20% of the charge. But that's why when we're communicating with Nuvve, we want to bring the fast charge system into you guys because we're able to get that, charge up.
we're able to recover the charge much quicker.
A lot quicker.
What happens when we have a pandemic and buses sit for a while? I know when our buses sit, or any bus sits, it's actually worse than driving it because they're made to be driven.
That's right.
What's the long-term?
The beauty of us, okay, is that we don't have all those. Well, first of all, your braking, your electrical things like that. I'm just going to say windshield wiper linkages and things like that. You follow me? That's all relative, okay? Whether it's an electric bus or if it's a diesel power bus. But the powertrain is what you're after because that's what we're experiencing right now, okay? Right now in the industry, where diesel engines, for example, they've gummed up and they've sat over the course of this pandemic, and we've had astronomical problems in the industry, okay, with DPF filters clogging, fuel systems clogging, and it's been a nightmare, okay? And maybe you guys have experienced that here. I don't know, but we've seen it.
I have in mind.
Okay, but the electric, we've eliminated all those components. So as long as we keep the batteries charged, okay, they have a life expectancy. Life expectancy is anywhere between maybe 8 and 10 years, okay, is what we're claiming the industry is right now. And we feel, but we don't have the experience because remember, electric buses are brand new, okay, but we do feel that we have the advantage over the combustion engines for just that reason.
Can I add one more thing?
Yes.
You can try.
Actually, V2G is better for the battery when the bus is parked for a long period of time. Because when you keep on charging and discharging the battery, it's healthier for it than doing that for a long period of time.
Right.
We got half of it.
Yeah, do you understand? I'll just kind of expound on that. So what Gregory's saying is that the battery will be in a cycle of charging. If it's sitting during the pandemic, daily the battery will be in a cycle of charging and then discharging because the V2G or vehicle to grid capability will allow the battery to push electricity back into the grid at peak times when the grid needs it most. And that's part of the whole equation to make it.
Let me ask you a question here. Do you guys, and maybe we're just assuming, do you understand, and this is just to correct me if it's a basic question, but do you understand what the V2G is going on with what we have here?
Yeah.
So you're using like, in essence, like you charge the battery and then when you're not using it, you're selling it.
Exactly.
What's happening is the sunlight and the energy is going back into the battery. And maybe Bill Johnson, I don't know, maybe you can explain that a little bit more from your side on the grid, but basically what's happening is that as the bus is sitting, it's absorbing the energy, like solar energy, for example, okay? It's going back into the battery, and what's happening now is as that's taking that energy back in while the bus is sitting, okay, it's funneling with this technology that Nuvve has and the componentry, it's putting it back into Bill Johnson's grid. Okay, so now what's happening there is that they're taking that and retrieving that back in as resource, as power, okay? And as a result, okay, they can sit there, the grid, and work with you on a cost savings.
How many buses, Jim, can you attach to the Nuvve charger?
We have, well, the chargers come in individual single mounts, okay, which we can have one-on-one. Okay, they have individual, they have dual mounts, so we can have two buses to one mount, but each vehicle has its own adapter.
Right.
Okay, and that's going to have its own plug back in.
The reason I'm asking, if we went with a multiple bus option, you'd want to have a charger that could handle multiple buses, right?
Nuvve, can you, Greg, can you answer that? Do you have multiple charging connectors on different Nuvve model numbers?
No, but to do the grid service, we need one charger per bus.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay,
answer that question.
perfect. That's what we needed. That came through nice and clear.
The package is coming as a charger with each bus.
Perfect.
Okay, so each bus is going to have its own charger. So now the thing about it is when this deal's all over in 10 years, you guys have got chargers there to continue to move on. Okay?
Well, that raises the question of the charger's proprietary connections.
No, it's a standard connection, okay, for our Bluebird bus. Okay, is that correct? Our Bluebird is...
Yeah, the charging
Yes.
station, the charging station is retro compatible with any vehicle that have the same plug.
Very good.
So, I mean...
So essentially, Jim, what you're saying is, and this is what I was trying to capture with the Finance Committee, is for about the same cost it would be for us to get a diesel and maintain it and fuel it.
Yes.
We can move into the electric bus, and between your company and Nuvve and the cooperative, we would be able to spend approximately the same amount of money.
When you look at what you're spending a year, that's a good analysis. And when we came in, okay, we wanted to get as close as we could to a diesel-powered bus on a cost analysis to get this jump started. And when you look at the numbers, we're probably within a couple $1,000s, if not equal to. Okay? So when you guys look at it from an initiative of going green and trying to maybe be that pioneer, it's really a win-win, I'll be honest with you. And I'm not trying to, I'm just talking to you as a layman's man now. You know, if you really have the initiative from a school district to go to electric power with Nuvve's benefit, we're really putting you guys into a financial position that is not really asking you to spend really any much more money than what you're already doing. And, you know, it would put you guys in a position to go green. Is really, and
I would say up to this point, Jim, as we've investigated electric buses, the numbers never worked out. And so what excited me about your presentation a month ago is the numbers were so doggone close that it was worth bringing it to the committee.
right. Well, I remember, if you remember, you were in that meeting 3 years ago when we walked in across the street at Susan's office. I remember we had our first initiation there, and you guys were excited then, you follow me, to want to lead the charge. And I remember walking out, you had mentioned to me, bring back a finance package that makes sense for us, and we want to go electric.
Yeah.
So it took us a couple years, I'll be honest with you, and to formulate this plan and you know, and getting Nuvve involved and getting the co-op involved, we feel confidently that we have a finance package that can make this work for you.
Yeah.
And now it's just a matter of you guys making the decision to go with us and saying, you know, let's go lead New Hampshire and let's go be the first guys out here to make a deal. And, you know, that's what we're hoping for.
Michael, do you have any questions for them while we're here?
So what happens at the end of 10 years?
Good question.
At the end of 10 years, okay, it's a good question. Technically, you guys are leasing the bus. Greg, I'm going to ask you to talk slowly on that, please, because you technically own the bus, okay, and the batteries. So what happens at the end of 10 years?
Yeah, there are options there. We can, you know, pass it on to you for you know, $1 or whatever, you know, if you wanted to do that, or we can take care of you know, it back and dismantle it.
So what I heard is that he would sign off a lease to you that you could have the bus for $1, okay, at the end of 10 years, and you guys would take ownership of it, and he would release the title over to you. Or you could just, you know, we could take the bus back and walk away.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that in 10 years, the technology will probably have changed enough that it's very likely that we would move then to the next lease option.
Yes.
Just like you would do with the computer.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, we didn't want to come in here and be too aggressive, but I just want to throw this out again, because I don't know how forefront you guys are, but Nuvve is very, very interested, and, you know, when Greg first came to me, he was like, well, geez, you think these guys would want to put a 5-year plan together and maybe do 3 buses a year for 5 years? I says, I don't know. I don't want to throw a tidal weight at these guys. You know what I mean? But, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying, these are things that we could grow into if you guys like what's going on and you really are trying to electrify. You know, this group here has the capabilities to be able to put a program together for you guys. You know, but I said to Greg, let's back off and let's just get our feet wet and try to get at least a bus or 2 and get you guys started. But I just want to let you guys know that it's not a quick hit deal where you're going to be married to us for 10 years with the bus. And if there is where you see good, solid progression, okay, then we can work together at devising better plans. You follow me? As you said, Al, technology develop and changes.
The evolution is headed in that direction.
So I just want to leave you with that offering that you know, we're looking to partner here with you people to try to get something going here.
Cool.
And then I think in one of the slides, you said that the connection to the charger is behind the meter?
The connection to the charger, guys, is that behind the meter?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
So if it's, so I'm sorry, so does that mean it's on the building, the Massway building side of the meter?
They want to know, is it on the building side of the meter or is it on the meter on the charging station?
They can have their own meter. The buses can have their own meter. So it would be better actually if they have their own meter rather than connect with the building.
Okay, so in the installation process, it's a completely separate meter. It doesn't affect the building at all.
It doesn't affect the building or anything like that. Is that correct, Bill?
Right, it's a bi-directional meter. So it's going to be accepting power and discharging power. So it'll be a dedicated meter for the bus service.
And we're paying the co-op for that power, or that's included in the lease cost?
It's included in the lease.
It's included. Okay. It's included in the lease. So you're not paying for any of that power.
Right, okay. And you mentioned training for the drivers, but there's no special licensing.
There's no special licensing. There's no the only training is really the familiarization, okay, of the high voltage components, which we don't go near, but they're there. Mm-hmm. Exit and entry, you know, if there is a catastrophe, okay.
Quieter. Try a little quieter. I can't hear this.
Okay.
I don't know who that is.
I'm sorry. Okay. Driver training in accelerating and debraking. Mm-hmm. Okay. But operating the bus, and I want you to be able to understand, this is the exact same bus. If we were to come in here, we bid you guys last March, okay, for a diesel powered bus. Yep. This would be, we didn't win it. It's okay, but this is the exact same bus, meaning that there's no physical differences, safety regulations, all that is exactly the same. The only difference is the powertrain. Right. It'll look exactly the same. The driver will feel operating it. It's just going to be how he or she accelerates and deaccelerates. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's going to be the training that we'll bring in. Yeah. And, you know, we will train your drivers. We will train your service people. We will be invested in this with you guys from the ground floor up because this is a pioneering position. Just to kind of let you know that Nuvve has a plan in the state of New Hampshire that they would like to deploy 15 buses here with the co-op. Okay, so this is not a quick, like I said, this is an investment that Nuvve's making in the state of New Hampshire with the New Hampshire Cooperative to bring in electrifying buses. So we're hoping that you guys want to be the first guys.
Well, thank you.
Just one quick question. What's the weight difference?
Michael, you're right against the clock. Yep. Watching it.
I get worried. We have a lot of hills here. It gets snowy. You got to stop it. If it's heavier than the other bus, right, it might take a little bit longer to stop. Right.
So they have the air braking system.
Right.
So
Why don't you want to comment on that, Jason, quickly?
The weight is distributed a little more evenly because the battery packs are spread out in the frame rails. The buses are a little heavier than a standard, but they don't exceed that standard. Jim, you might know from your commercial. what the
GVW is 30,000
Yeah, it's
pounds on the
it's
bus.
under that GVW requirement, for a
There's
school
the
bus.
center of gravity. is-
Right, center of gravity.
Yep.
And it'll be actually probably give you a lot more traction too, I'll be honest with you, on the bus.
Handling a little better because it's not as top, it's not quite as
Right.
top heavy because the center of gravity is within the frame.
And it will be an air brake application, okay, which is good, okay? And then,
Does that require another license, though?
Yes. You will
Because our
require.
buses
Wait.
right now aren't air brakes, are they?
Ours are not.
Yep.
yeah, I know we might have gone over a little bit here, guys, I apologize that we went over a little
Thank
bit.
you.
No, it's always
Is-
driven by the questions of the
You know, I-
Finance Committee.
I'm thankful, I know this didn't go off as well as we'd hoped with the communications, we tried the
It's
best of
not
our
you.
abilities.
It's not you.
Not your fault.
Yeah, we're used to it by now.
Gentlemen out there in, in the World Wide Web, thank you for being here tonight. I
Yes.
apologize for the audio connection. For whatever reason, we have not been able to get control of it in this room. So the other night, what we did was just move the meeting into the principal's conference room, and it worked pretty well. We'll just have to learn to do that in the future. But I do appreciate all your time. I'm sorry, Greg, so much of your presentation got muffled. Jim did a pretty good job here. I think we got a really good handle and understanding. The Finance Committee will talk about it at another meeting and get back to you guys.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Interesting.